It began a little after midnight, startling me awake from what had previously been a deep sleep. I often hear noises when falling asleep or waking up, but these are typically noises prematurely created by a mind too eager to dream. This time was different. I jolted awake and turned on my bedside lamp. Rubbing my eyes to ensure I was truly awake, my hands were quickly repurposed to covering my ears. The sound was a sharp, reverberating wail coming from downstairs. It sounded like an animal that was in agonizing pain but had hours left until death took their pain away. Living where I do, it wasn't uncommon for animals to be struck by vehicles at night, as they had grown so used to the human presence that they no longer feared them, or their cars for that matter. I stumbled down the stairs, still in my half-asleep stupor, to investigate the source of the noise. As I approached the door, the wail became louder and louder, and my stomach dropped lower and lower until my hand cautiously reached for the front door. I flung open the door and nothing. No cars, no people, no dying animal using its last breath to compose an unholy wail. No wail. Not anymore. I let loose a small sigh of relief, or at least partial relief, as the clamor had ceased. I shut the door and turned to face my home, fully prepared to lie awake in bed until the nerves wore off. The wailing, whatever it was, had ceased. Then, almost as quiet as a whisper, carried by a slow summer breeze, I heard 4 faint words float through my ears. "You let me in." That's when the laughing began, this time from upstairs. My parents had gone out of town for the weekend, and I had decided to stay behind to catch up on some work. At first I was happy to have the house to myself, but as the night wore on, I began to feel uneasy. I tried to distract myself with work, but every creak and groan of the old house made me jump. I tried turning on some music, but even that couldn't drown out the sense of unease that was growing inside me. As I was about to head to bed, I heard a strange noise coming from upstairs. It sounded like footsteps, but I knew that I was the only one in the house. I tried to shake off the feeling of fear that was creeping up on me, telling myself that it was just my imagination, but then I heard the footsteps again, louder this time, and I knew that something was wrong. I crept up the stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. As I reached the top, I saw a figure moving in the shadows. It was tall and thin, with long fingers that seemed to stretch out towards me. I froze, not sure what to do, but then the figure turned towards me, and I saw its face, or rather, I saw the lack of a face. It was just a blank, featureless void. I screamed and ran back down the stairs, but as I reached the bottom, I heard the figure following me. It was moving faster now, its footsteps echoing through the empty house. I knew I had to get out of there, but my keys were upstairs. I was trapped. As the figure drew closer, I saw that it was holding something in its hand. It was a knife, glinting in the dim light. I thought that it was the end for me, that I was about to be killed by some unknown intruder, but then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure vanished. I stood there, shaking with fear and confusion. I didn't know what had just happened, but I knew that I never wanted to be alone in that house again. I have a beloved little brother who's a toddler, and he and I have always had a special bond. We share a love of playtime, cartoons, and simply being together. Our parents are kind and loving, and they've always encouraged us to be curious and creative. We have a comfortable home filled with toys, books, and all sorts of fun things to do, whether we're playing outside, building with blocks, or watching our favorite cartoons. We always have a great time together. However, A few weeks ago, I noticed something quite strange happening with my little brother. I walked into the living room to find him sitting in front of the TV, watching what appeared to be nothing but white noise. The screen was completely blank, yet my brother was transfixed, staring at the TV with wide eyes and a big smile on his face.
"Hey little bro, what are you watching?"
I asked.
"TV,"
he exclaimed, still staring at the screen.
"But there's nothing on the TV,"
I pointed out.
"Yes, there is,"
Ben insisted, gesturing towards the white noise. I was puzzled by this. I couldn't understand what he could possibly find entertaining about staring at a blank screen. But he seemed happy, so I didn't want to disturb him, and I let it go. This went on for weeks, but it didn't bother me. I had no idea what could be so captivating, but my brother was obviously enjoying himself, and that was all that mattered. He would sit in front of the TV while watching the white noise while I was reading a book or playing on my phone. It felt like my brother was in his own little world, filled with mystery and wonder. He seemed to have an endless source of joy coming from this mundane activity, and I couldn't help but marvel at how something so simple could bring him such happiness. Eventually, I asked our parents if they had any idea why he enjoyed the white noise so much. They explained that sometimes toddlers can be strange, so there's nothing to worry about. However, I started to notice a change in my brother's behavior. He had become obsessed with staring at the TV, and would spend hours staring at the screen. I tried to engage him in playtime and our favorite games, but he seemed more interested in the TV than anything else.
"Hey Ben, do you want to go outside and play our favorite game?"
I asked him.
"No, I want to watch TV,"
he replied, his eyes glued to the screen.
"But we always have so much fun playing together,"
I said, trying to entice him.
"Remember when we built that awesome fort last week?" "I don't care,"
he said, still transfixed by the TV. I felt a pang of sadness in my heart. I missed our playtime together and our special bond. I knew that watching TV was not a bad thing, but I also knew that it was important for us to spend time together as siblings.
"Can we please play together just for a little bit?"
I pleaded.
"No, TV,"
he insisted, ignoring my request. I sighed and walked away, feeling a bit defeated. I knew I couldn't force my brother to play with me, but I hoped that he would eventually come around and realize the importance of spending time together as a family. So, about a week ago, I decided to join my brother in his strange little world of white noise. As I watched, I noticed that the white noise on the screen seemed to have a soothing effect on my brother. The flickering static and the soft hiss of the TV seemed to calm him down and put him in a trance-like state. It was almost as if he was hypnotized by the white noise.
"I don't get it,"
I said, trying to engage him in conversation.
"Why do you like this?" "I like it,"
he replied, still transfixed by the screen. I tried to engage him in conversation, but he was completely absorbed in watching the white noise. He didn't respond to my questions or comments, and I realized that he was completely zoned out. I found this whole experience to be quite weird and unsettling. It was as if my brother had found a strange and mysterious source of entertainment in something that should have been completely boring and uninteresting. Despite my confusion, I felt a strange sense of curiosity about what was going on inside my brother's head. What was he seeing on that blank screen that I couldn't see? I tried to focus on the screen. I did not move my eyes. I tried to find something. And then, very slowly, something started to happen. From the millions of dancing black and white spots, I could make out some vague, animated geometric shapes, such as circles, squares, and triangles, that moved and interacted with each other. They appeared to be engaged in communication with each other, as evidenced by their back-and-forth exchange.
"What the hell?"
I said, and I got up to take a closer look at the TV and the cables behind it. But as I peeked at the back of the TV, the realization that it was not plugged in sent chills down my spine. Since that moment, I moved to my girlfriend's place and have been unsure of what I should fear more, The house, or my brother? I've been avoiding both, just in case. Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you want to hear more scary stories, please subscribe and I'll keep them coming. Until next time.